I also get this one a lot, and I know it's going to sound weird, but the next question is, what if I don't like my kids most days? What if I don't like my children most days? So it's normal now in the world of psychiatry and like mental health. We try to avoid the term normal because what's normal? I don't know. People, I don't know what's normal. So instead, we try to use typical and atypical, right? So what's typical in this situation is what's not typical in this situation. And so it is very typical to not always like your kids. Now, the good part is I know you love them because they're still in your house and you're putting up with them, right? So, yay, congratulations, that's great. And this goes for sometimes even your adult children. So for you, adults that are listening to this or reading this or whatever, and you have adult kids at home, and you're like, I don't like my kid, and very much. Most times, again, if they're in your house, you're putting up with them, and you love them in some form or fashion. But no, you do not have to like your children all the time. The key is to make sure you give lots and lots of structure and very, very clear expectations. And so, and then do not take it personally. So when you set the expectations and the boundaries and you say, this is what I expect of you, and this is what I expected in my house, and they don't follow it, it is not it is not, their actions are not a direct implication of who you are as a parent. So in other words, you're not a bad parent if your kiddo isn't listening and following directions. And actually we have I created a whole video about egocentrism and all that good stuff. So if you go to simplypsych.com, it's a free video. You just click it and it'll play and it explains egocentrism in like 10 minutes. And you can learn about all that stuff. But yeah, you don't have to like your kids. The other thing is hidden behind all of this stuff is frustration. And so most parents get frustrated if you set an expectation that's not being met, but it's very important to really, really keep in mind what is reasonable for that kid's age and developmental level. Yes, if they're an adult child, theoretically, they should be able to do a whole bunch of stuff by themselves, but there could be a mental health or a psychiatric reason for that kind of stuff. Theoretically, it shouldn't take 3 hours to do one page of homework, right? So the fact that your kiddo is taking that long and you're getting frustrated with them and you're like, I don't like you right now because you're not listening. Well, it could be a learning disorder. It could be ADHD. It could be all sorts of things. And so the key is if you find yourself not liking your children a lot, reach out to someone because what therapists and psychiatrists and psychologists do is we are all trained in kind of the normative behaviors, the typical behaviors, the typical developmental levels, so that we can give you perspective so that you won't feel so either you won't feel like an aberration. You won't feel like you're some type of weirdo in the grand scheme of things, because more than likely you're not. I'm going to say 99.9% of us are not weirdos. So get some perspective, get a reference point, and that's what a therapist is really good at doing, is giving you a reference point for all this stuff.